ಎಲ್ಲರೂ obviously pass ಆಗೇ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ, don't worry too much. As I said, like there are 8 important chapters: physics ಅಲ್ಲಿ light and electricity, chemistry ಅಲ್ಲಿ carbon and its compounds and chemical reactions and equations, biology ಅಲ್ಲಿ 4 chapters. ತಲೆನೋವು ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಸ್ ತಲೆನೋವು, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಲೈಕ್ ತಲೆನೋವು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟಾನೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ think of it as something more positive. ಅವಾಗ you'll at least be little motivated to do it, ಆಯ್ತಾ? Okay, so in 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪೇಪರ್, ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, and then we'll start answering one by one, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದು ನಾನು ಹಾಕಿರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನೇ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೀಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, and then we'll see, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮೀ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರೆಡಿನಾ? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಎಸ್, ನೋ, ಭಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಏನು? ಶಾಲ್ ವಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪೇಪರ್? ಎಸ್, ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್. ಓಕೆ, so first question shuru madana aita. So first we'll do chemistry, then we'll do biology, and last we'll do physics aita. So we'll take it one by one. So in the first question ali, you can unmute and answer aita. So nan kelidre you can unmute and answer. Full solve madida, that's okay, we will solve as much as you can. Neev solve madidre, that's okay. Now full paper na hengadru discuss ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆನೇ solve ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ. Okay, so first question ali, a silver white metal X is in the form of ribbons. Upon ignition, it burns with a dazzling white flame to form white powdered Y. So when the water is added to Y, it partially dissolves to form Z, which is used as an antacid. So metal X, you know. Any
Magnesium.
answer? Magnesium, correct. Okay, so X is magnesium. Mate Y is, you know, it's a white powder. So a white powder, you know, ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಝೆಡ್. ಸೊ ವೈ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಝೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಝೆಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ?
ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್.
ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು?
MgOH twice.
Perfect. So MgOH twice, ಆಯ್ತಾ? So this is substance Z, which is used in an antacid. So ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ? What is metal X? What is white powder? What is substance Z? Okay, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Write the chemical reactions that are taking place. So first chemical reaction ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? Mg plus O2 ಅಲ್ವಾ? Mg plus O2 gives
magnesium oxide.
ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು 2mg ಮತ್ತೆ 2mg, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇದು ನಮ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ನಮ್ದು ಈ MgO ವಾಟರ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ MgO ಪ್ಲಸ್ H2O. ಸೊ MgO ಪ್ಲಸ್ H2O ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Mg
magnesium hydroxide.
OH twice. Correct. So MgOH twice. ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? So balance agida idu innu balance agida. So I'm not going to write this. Just write a separate reaction altogether. So you just write MgO plus H2O gives MgOH twice. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 2 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, 2 ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್, 1 ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 2. And like the last equation ಏನಾರು ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ? Yeah, so this is forming substance Z. So these are the two equations that are taking place over here ಆಯ್ತಾ? So this is the first question. ಇವಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎಸ್, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Okay, so second question, why does aqueous solution of an acid conduct electricity?
Due to the presence of H plus ions.
Correct. Okay, so very simple. So acid in aqueous form dissolves and produces
More H plus
H plus ion. Okay, so ಈ H plus ions ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? So ions are responsible for conduction of electricity ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಆಸಿಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಈಕ್ವಿಯಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಅದು ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಆದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ H plus ions. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟೆಡ್? Ions are responsible to conduct the electricity. That is why in an aqueous solution, acid when it produces H plus ions, it is able to conduct the electricity away. Okay, so next part of the question, what would you observe on adding dilute HCl to sodium bicarbonate placed in a test tube?
It forms salt, carbon dioxide, and water.
Salt, carbon dioxide and water. Okay, ಯಾವ salt form ಆಗುತ್ತೆ?
NaCl.
NaCl. Okay, ನೋಡೋಣ. So what is the formula of sodium bicarbonate?
NaCO3.
NaCO3. No, that is sodium carbonate. Sodium bicarbonate.
NaHCO3.
NaHCO3. Okay, be careful. So carbonate and bicarbonate are two different things. So ಇದು HCl ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸೊ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಇದು Cl ಮತ್ತೆ Na ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಆಗಿ NaCl ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ H2O plus CO2. This is the reaction. So this is not what happens in this reaction is effervescence. This is effervescence takes place in this reaction. Andre a lot of energy is released in the production of this reaction during this reaction. So that is nothing but effervescence anta karitivi aita. So idna swalpa explain ಮಾಡಿ. So this is sodium bicarbonate aita. So NaHCO3 sodium bicarbonate. So ಈ sodium bicarbonate ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is split into two things ಆಯ್ತಾ, Na plus and HCO3 minus. Okay, ಮತ್ತೆ HCl ಅಲ್ಲಿ H plus and Cl minus. So ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, when this reaction takes place, Na plus and Cl minus, these two react with each other to form NaCl, and E H plus and HCO3 minus combine agi, then it gets split into hydrogen, it gets split into water and carbon dioxide. So those are the byproducts of the reaction. But the salt that is formed over here is Na plus and Cl minus, nothing but NaCl in this reaction. So this is nothing but an effervescence reaction. So that means energy tumba jasti release agutte ee reaction alli. Okay, so this is the next part. So which has a higher pH, concentrated or dilute HCl?
Concentrated.
Okay, which has a higher pH anta ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, so ಇದು pH scale ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So in the pH scale, what is 7 is neutral ಅಲ್ವಾ? 7 ಬಂದ್ರೆ neutral ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay. If you go towards 1, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Acidity
increase.
or the decrease? Increases ಅಲ್ವಾ? So acidity increases as you go left hand side towards in the pH scale ಅಲ್ವಾ? So ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ HCl ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೈಯರ್ pH ಇದೆ. Okay, so ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್, ನೋ. ಸೊ ದ ಹೈಯರ್ pH is going to be in the diluted one. ಯಾಕೆ? ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ acidity is increasing ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹೈ acidity ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ it is low acidity ಅಲ್ವಾ? Compared to the diluted one ಅಲ್ವಾ? So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ since the acidity is low, the pH will be somewhere around 3 or somewhere between 2 to 4. ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, but somewhere between 2 to 4. But concentrated this one hydrochloric acid is going to have pH somewhere between 1 to 2 or less than 1 also sometimes, right? So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, on the pH scale, like the diluted one is always going to have higher pH and concentrated is always going to have lower pH. Okay, so final answer in Baritini, diluted HCl will have greater pH. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? Okay, so low acidity irodinda it is going to have higher pH. Okay, so always remember that. So concentrated will always have lower pH and diluted will have higher pH. Okay, the next third question answer Madana. Okay, one ನಿಮಿಷ. Okay, so third question ನೋಡೋಣ. So in the third question, what will you observe when some pieces of zinc are put in copper sulfate solution?
Displacement reaction.
Okay, perfect. Displacement reaction. So what is the reaction? Some pieces of zinc are put in copper sulfate solution. So what is the reaction that takes place?
Zinc sulfate.
Z. So zinc is nothing but it is going to displace copper from a solution because it is more reactive. Plus Cu will get deposited over here. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? So because zinc is more reactive than copper, so ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕಾಪರ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ZnSO4 ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so always remember this is nothing but the reactivity series. So learn this reactivity series very well. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸಮಟೈಮ್ಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, so then the next part of the question is some silver pieces are put in green ferrous sulfate solution. Okay, so what is the chemical, so what is the reaction that is going to take place? Silver is put into green colored ferrous sulfate solution. ಯಾವ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Okay, so ferrous sulfate ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ? FeSO4. No reaction. Okay, ನೋಡೋಣ.
Displacement
pieces. Okay, so silver ಮತ್ತೆ iron. So ಯಾವ್ದು higher ಇದೆ ಈ reactivity series? Is iron going to be higher or silver is higher in the reactivity series?
Iron.
Iron.
So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ when silver is added to FeSO4, there is going to be no reaction ಅಲ್ವಾ? So even if you heat this, there is going to be no reaction because silver cannot displace iron from its solution, but iron can displace silver from its solution. The answer is no reaction takes place. Okay, so be careful. All this is again a part of the reactivity series. So reactivity series arthadre, you will understand which is going to displace which element from the from its solution. Okay, so next part in chemistry, very important chapter. This is carbon and its compounds. So from carbon and its compounds, what is isomerism? What is isomerism?
Same molecular formula, different structural formula.
Exactly, perfect. So if you have to write it in a sentence, nothing, you have to write these are compounds which have same molecular formula but a different structural formula. Okay, so that is what isomerism is. So explain structural isomerism with an example. So what are structural isomers? Structural isomers are nothing but same molecular formula but different structure. That is what structural isomerism is. Then the next part of the question is explain structural isomerism with an example. So example gotta yarargo?
Butane.
Butane and what is the isomer of butane?
Butane.
And
Oh, butane and isobutane, correct. So structural isomer example, butane is going to have C, 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 C. Ether. But hydrogen nan barita illa, but you have to fill this up with respective hydrogen atoms everywhere. Right? But isobutane ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Is nothing going to be what? C, C,
branch
C.
structure.
One branch irutte, correct? So this is going to be straight and this is going to be branched. Okay. So all these, when you are writing the right answer, you have to write it with the hydrogen atoms everywhere. Okay. Adna maribedi, nan idil baritala, but ensure to write the hydrogen atoms everywhere. Okay. So this is branched and this is straight. So butane and isobutane is a perfect example for structural isomer. Okay. Next question. Page. Okay. Okay. So what are cyclic hydrocarbons? Give an example of the same. Cyclic hydrocarbon.
Single bond between carbon and carbon atom.
There is one very important. Can we write isobutane as methyl propane? Methyl propane. Yeah, you can write this one as, but you don't like sumne jasti complicate agate. But just write it as butane and isobutane itself. Right? So don't try to complicate it by saying methyl propane. Okay. So what is cyclic hydrocarbon? It is nothing but hydrocarbon arranged in the form of a ring. Okay, and this can be both. It can be saturated and unsaturated. Okay, so cyclic hydrocarbons are hydrocarbons which are found in the ring form. So best example for all this is cyclobutane. Cyclobutane irbohudu. For example, what is cyclobutane? It is like this. Aita? So those are 4 hydrogen. And for unsaturated, you can give benzene as an example. Okay, so this is example for cyclic hydrocarbon. They are arranged in the form of a ring. The carbon atoms. So what is important over here? Carbon atom is arranged in the form of a ring. So those are cyclic hydrocarbons. So we have given an example for the same as well. Okay, the next question. Chlorine, chlorine, bromine are elements having 7 valence electrons. Which of them has the largest atomic radius? Anyone? Which of these elements has the largest atomic radius?
Bromine.
Fluorine, chlorine, bromine. First one?
Bromine.
Yeah, correct.
I think
Largest.
bromine.
You think. So, yeah, okay. What is the reason for it?
New shells are added.
Correct. Bromine. Why? There are bromine has 4 shells. Chlorine has 3 shells. Fluorine has 2 shells. That is why you're going to find bromine having the largest atomic radius. Okay. The second part of the question: which is the most reactive out of these fluorine, chlorine, bromine?
Fluorine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Why is fluorine the most reactive?
ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಕ್ಕ
Okay.
ಯಾಕೋ
So,
ನನ್ ಕೈಲಿ
ನಾನು answer
subjects
ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. In
ಓದೋಕೆ
fluorine,
ಖಂಡಿತ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ
since
ಯೋಚನೆ
the-
ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್
electron
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್
entering will be closer to the nucleus. So it attracts it easier.
ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ
It has
ಅನ್ಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ
stronger attraction.
ಅಕ್ಕ ಯಾಕೋ ನನ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಓದೋಕೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ
Explain ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್
Okay, so fluorine atom ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ?
ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಕ್ಕ ಯಾಕೋ ನನ್ ಕೈಲಿ
Okay,
ಈ
so fluorine
ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್
atom
ಓದೋಕೆ
ಅಲ್ಲಿ-
ಖಂಡಿತ
it is going to have 1 shell and 2 shell. Okay, so e fluorine atom ali, it is going to have 7 electrons in its outermost shell alva. But this is fluorine. ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಶೆಲ್ ಆಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ರೋಮಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಶೆಲ್ ಆಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ವೃತಿಕ್, can you please don't not share? ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? ಹೌದಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ,
ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ
ನಾವು ಇದು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಔಟರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಬಿಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅನ್ ಆಕ್ಟೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ trying to enter into the outermost shell, if it is coming into fluorine, the proton is very close to the electron alva. So because the distance between the proton and electron, it is easier for the electron to enter into fluorine. But bromine alli ill electron enter adre the distance ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So because it is higher distance, the nuclear charge is going to pull it lesser and lesser alva. So that is why it is easier for the electron to enter into the outermost shell of fluorine compared to bromine. That is why fluorine is always more reactive, because electron entering will be closer to the nucleus, it has stronger attraction. But in bromine, the electron entering will be farther away from the nucleus, so adike kammi attraction irutte. Artha aita? So that is why fluorine is always more reactive than bromine. Ivaga extension to this question, electronegativity kedre, which has more electronegativity between fluorine, chlorine and bromine? Fluorine, one second. Which has more electronegativity between fluorine, chlorine and bromine? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine. So yeah,
Fluorine.
correct. So electronegativity of fluorine is greater than chlorine, is greater than bromine. What is electronegativity? It is almost the same. It is nothing but how easy it is for the electron to enter into the outermost shell of the nucleus. So since it is closer to the nucleus, since it has only 2 shells, it is easier for the electron to enter into the outermost shell. But for chlorine and bromine, since there is an additional shell, it is harder for the electron to enter because the effective nuclear charge is lesser over there. So That is with regards to the fifth question. Okay, ivaga biology move on. So why do herbivores have larger and longer small intestine than carnivores?
To digest cellulose.
Correct. So
They consume plant which has large cellulose.
okay, correct. So herbivores eat plants. So plants ali cellulose irutte. So what is cellulose? You have to write this very important point. Just don't write cellulose. Cellulose is a complex carbohydrate. Okay, complex carbohydrate. And this complex carbohydrate for digestion. Idu time togolutte. It takes time. So adike it needs a larger surface area and longer time to digest a complex carbohydrate because cellulose is a complex carbohydrate, alva. So adike herbivores since they eat plants, it takes longer amount of time to digest the cellulose, which is why they have a longer small intestine. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? So whereas meat will take lesser amount of time to digest, adike it doesn't need a longer small intestine over there. Okay, so for carnivores, that is. So this is with regards to the sixth question over here. Okay, so coming to the seventh question, this is actually from your previous year board paper. So name the given structure. What is this given structure, Yellaru? Hey.
Reflex action.
Reflex action or reflex arc?
Reflex arc.
Reflex arc. Alva? So reflex arc is the right answer. Okay, so this is the answer for this is reflex arc. So what is the general function of reflex arc?
It's create a path to reflex action.
It creates a path to reflex action, correct. But what is the main function of it?
Response to stimuli.
Response to stimuli, correct. Okay, so the main purpose of it is it gives immediate response to changes in the environment. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಹಾಲು ಕುಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸೊ ಆ ಲೋಟ ತುಂಬಾ ಬಿಸಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕೈ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಹೌ ದ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು changes in the environment due to the reflex arc. Right? So like best example is if you touch something that is very very hot, sudden agi without you thinking only then kai wapas hogatte alva. So that is what we call reflex action. So the response to sudden changes in the environment is called reflex action. So reflex arc is the mechanism. Reflex action is the action that is taken. This mechanism or this whole diagram is nothing but reflex arc and not reflex action. So reflex action is more of the verb. The reflex action is nothing but the mechanism through which it takes place. Okay, then this is one part of the question. Okay, so mention the function of the label parts A and B. So part A part B anta helana. I'll just see if I can copy this diagram. So what is part A? What is part A?
Sensory neuron. Answer ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? Can everyone see the diagram na? Okay.
Yeah.
So part A, what is part A? Someone said already the answer. Sensory neuron.
Sensory neuron.
So what is the function of the sensory neuron? What is the sensory neuron do? Idu impulse na carry ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. So impulse ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ carry ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ sensory neuron na?
From receptor to relay neuron.
Receptor to relay nerve, spinal cord.
Spinal cord.
Spinal cord ಅಲ್ವಾ. So this carries the impulse from receptor to the spinal cord. Okay, ಇದು impulse carry ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ to spinal cord. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So this is nothing but the sensory neuron. Okay, so then what is part B? This is part B. What is part B?
Effector.
Perfect. Effector. Good answer. So what does the effector do?
Response to stimulus.
Effector is very simple. It shows the sudden response to stimulus. Sudden response.
ಬ್ರದರ್ ಒಂದು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ.
ಹಾ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಎ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ?
ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್
ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಬ್ರದರ್, ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್.
ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಓಕೆ ಬ್ರದರ್.
ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆನ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇದು ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? And yeah, so see the sensory neuron, this connection happens only in the sensory neuron. In motor neuron, this connection will not happen, right?
Yeah, okay.
So these structures in animals are said to be more efficient to give quick response. Yake. So why is this giving efficient response to the stimuli? What is the most important point over here?
Closure to.
So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ?
Electrical impulses.
The impulse does not reach the brain. Does not reach the brain. So because this impulse does not reach the brain, within the spinal cord itself, the reaction will take place, which is why it is more efficient. So that is the main point over here. So for example, if you're touching a hot object, idu one paatre ide, adu gas stove mele ittu. So adna muttidre enagutte, if the response has to if the impulse has to go from your hand all the way to your brain tirga process ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಕೈಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So that is why what happens, the reflex arc, what happens is the response will get done in the spinal cord itself, and it will come back to your hand, and your hand will move away immediately without the signal reaching your brain. So because the signal or the impulse does not reach the brain, it is more efficient, and it improves the chances of survival. Improves chances of survival. Okay, Puna explain Madina. Okay, so this is nothing but the sensory neuron. Sensory neuron will carry the impulse from the receptor to the spinal cord, and B over here is nothing but the effector, and the effector shows the sudden response to the stimulus. So inaro stimulus idre, this effector is going to show the sudden response to it. Okay, so so these structures in animals are said to be more efficient to give quick responses. Yake quick agi response korta ide, yakandre ee impulse nim brain ige hogta illa, without reaching the brain itself you are committing that particular action, adike it is more efficient. So because the impulse does not reach the brain, it improves the chances of survival, and it is more efficient over here. Aita? So this is nothing but the reflex arc. Okay, Sridhar, please can you stop sharing your screen? Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to the 8th question. So state the 2 types of movements seen in plants. Give one example of each. 8th question. What are the 2 types of movements seen in plants?
Phototropism,
Geotropism, hydrotropism.
Phototropism, geotropism.
No.
Phototropism,
So those are, that comes under one type of, that is nothing but a tropic movement. But the movement in plants can be divided into two main categories, alva.
Tropic and nastic.
Correct. Perfect. So what is tropic and what is nastic?
Growth dependent, growth independent.
Perfect. Okay. So which is growth dependent and which is growth independent? So what is tropic? Tropic is growth dependent or independent?
Dependent.
Yeah, perfect. Growth dependent. And nastic is nothing but growth independent. Okay, so these are nothing but growth independent. What does it mean by growth independent? That means it is independent of stimuli. Acha. Okay, so now for what are examples of this growth dependent? So ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾಗ ಇದು geotropism, phototropism, thigmotropism. So what is phototropism? Movement of a plant towards the sunlight. That is phototropism. Geotropism, movement of the plant towards the ground. So that is geotropism. So similarly, there are different types of movements that are growth dependent. So the plant grows in a particular direction or a particular way. So the growth of the plant are all tropic movements. So nastic movements are not related to the growth of a plant. So for example, idu touch me not ide alva. So touch me not na kelidira mimosa podica. So ee touch me not na touch ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? It'll come closer to each other. So all the leaves will shrink to each other. So that is not depending on the growth. The growth of the plant is not happening because of that stimulus. So it is happening because there is movement of water within that plant, which is why the leaves are closing. So this is independent of growth, but all movements that are dependent on the growth is going to be a tropic movement. Independent of the growth are going to be nastic movements anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So all your geotropism, phototropism, where the plant is growing in a particular direction, adela tropic movements anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Nastic movements are not dependent on the growth. Doubt idya? Explain again anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ, but ನಾನು ತಿರ್ಗಾ explain ಮಾಡಿದೆ, but do you still have doubt? Okay, no. Okay, fine. We will move on to the next part of the question. So describe the structure and the function of the placenta. So placenta,
A disc or a tissue.
Okay. One ನಿಮಿಷ, ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಯಾರು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Okay, fine. So what is placenta?
Special tissue.
A disc or a tissue.
Where is the special tissue found?
Glucose from the mother provides
Okay, one nimisha, one by one. So it is a disc. So what are the key points over here?
It provides nourishment to the fetus. It provides glucose from mother blood to the embryo.
Correct, yeah. It is a disc of tissue. So what does its principal function do? It supplies the
Nourishment.
Nutrients.
The fetus.
Exchange of gases.
Nutrients. Exchange of gases is going to be the umbilical cord, not the placenta. So it supplies the fetus with nutrients, oxygen.
Removal of waste.
And water. So it is structurally adapted to achieve this particular thing. And one more very important thing in the placenta is it has a large surface area.
And the placenta umbilical cord connected.
Correct. Umbilical cord is connected to the placenta. Yeah.
But the exchange of gases umbilical cord through the embryo.
Correct. Yeah. So my bad. So ultimately, it is responsible for delivering the nutrients and the oxygen to the fetus. Aita? So that is the main point of the placenta over here. So these are the key points over here. It is a disc of a tissue, and it supplies nutrients, oxygen, and water to the fetus, and it has a large surface area over here. Aita?
It removes waste from the fetus.
That is also a key point of the placenta over here. Aita? So these are the main points of the placenta, and describe the structure and the function of the placenta ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So we have answered all the key points and the functions of the placenta. Removal of waste from fetus also. Fetus. So this is about the placenta. Moving on to the next question, differentiate between self-pollination and cross-pollination. This is again 2021 board paper ali kelidru ee question. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. Gotta yarargo?
Transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma occur in same flower.
Okay, correct. Self-pollination is a cross. Okay. So movement of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower, and this is what is cross-pollination? It's going to be the same flower or a different flower?
Different flower.
Okay, so one day plant ತಗೊಂಡು ಎರಡು flower ಇದ್ರೆ, so is that self-pollination or cross-pollination? ಒಂದೇ ಗಿಡ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಒಂದ್ ಗಿಡ ಇದೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ, ಈ ಗಿಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಲೀಫ್ ಇದೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಗಿಡದ ಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡು ಲೀಫ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಒಂದ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಎರಡು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇದೆ. So if it moves from one flower to other in the same plant, is that cross pollination or is that self pollination?
Cross pollination.
Cross pollination.
Illa. So same flower, same plant idre, it is going to be self pollination only. It is not going to be cross pollination. So if it is the same plant, so illi then plant ide aga, for example, this is one flower and this is another flower. Ee ಎರಡು flower ಇದೆ. So ee flower ಇಂದ ಈ flower ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, it is not going to be counted as cross pollination. It is going to be counted as self pollination only over here. Okay, so this is very important. Either same flower of same flower.
Gametes ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ flower ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
No, but it is in the same flower only, alva. Same flower or two flowers of same plant. Aita. So if it is two flowers of the same plant also, it is self-pollination only. But if it is two flowers of different plants, then it is going to be called cross-pollination. Artha aita? It same plant idre, same species irathalva. It doesn't, like, it is receiving nutrients from the same source alva. So that is why it is going to be counted as self-pollination. So this is one difference. In on the difference here agata. So when does the pollination occur over here? Does the pollination occur before blooming or after blooming? In self-pollination, where does the pollination happen?
Blooming andre ಏನು?
Blooming andre flower bloom ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಅದು. Okay, no. So pollination ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇದು self pollination ಅಂದ್ರೆ within the same plant, before the blooming itself, pollination can happen alva, because it is within the same plant. But pollination after blooming in cross pollination ಆಯ್ತಾ. So bari ಎರಡು flower bloom ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ you can have pollination between two flowers, but same plant ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ before the blooming itself pollination ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. Blooming ಅಂದ್ರೆ nothing but flower ಬರೋದು, that is the process of blooming ಆಯ್ತಾ. So that is another example over here. Then next difference ಏನ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ? One last difference ಬರೋಣ. So any other difference you guys know?
Seen in bisexual flower.
So the better way to write that is easier way. No new varieties found, right? Yakandre, it is the same species that is going to be pollinated over here. But over here, there is a possibility of new species. Why is there a possibility of new species? Because they are from different plants. Different plants of different species cross-pollinate ಹೊಸ species form ಆಗದ chance ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So that is why it is going to be a newer species. There is a possibility, it is not guaranteed, possibility of newer species is there. So these are the three main differences between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Again, don't get confused with this. Two flowers of the same plant idre, it is going to be counted as self-pollination only. But ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಗಿಡ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪಾಲಿನೇಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ then it is going to be cross pollination. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Okay. Moving on to the next question. State the meaning of inherited traits and acquired traits. Simple question. So
Inherited traits we can transfer from one generation to another generation.
Inherited traits are transferred from one generation to another generation.
Correct, yeah. So inherited traits are nothing but traits, or we should don't write traits, write characteristics. This is also an important point. Characteristics transferred from one generation to another. Transferred from one generation to another, or from parent to offspring, or from, we'll write parent to offspring only. It is the more scientific term to use over here. So that is why from parent to offspring. Okay, then what is acquired trait?
Characters are acquired by an individual in a lifetime.
Correct. So it's nothing but the characteristics acquired in a lifetime by any individual. So characteristics acquired by an individual during their lifetime is nothing but acquired trait. Okay, so in the end, which one of the two is not passed on to the next generation?
Acquired
trait is not passed on to the next generation. So explain with the help of an example. So simple example, ನಾನು ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಂಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾಯ ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, so I got hurt, ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆ ಆ ಗಾಯದಿಂದ. Okay, so because of that, like that scar is not going to go, ಆ ಸ್ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆ. So that is going to be an acquired trait. That scar is going to be an acquired trait. But my offspring is not going to have that same scar. So when my offspring is born, they're not going to be born with a scar. So why is that? Because inherited traits are always passed through the DNA, but acquired traits are not passed through the DNA. They are not passed at all. Leave DNA, they are not passed at all. But inherited traits are passed on through DNA. For example, color of skin, color of hair, or it could be size of body, whatever it is. So all those are inherited traits that are passed on through the DNA, but acquired traits are not passed on through the DNA. So example yen kodadu anta. So like for inherited trait and acquired trait, example ellarigu. Okay, so we will move on to physics now. So physics barana. So first numerical, again very important numerical in physics. I'll give you guys 2 minutes. If you haven't solved it, solve it. If you have solved it, answer hedi nange. Answer banta yarargo already solve ಮಾಡಿರೋರು? No. Okay. Solve ಮಾಡಿ ಈಗ. Like ಈ 12th question ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Solve the 12th question. Two centimeter tall object is placed perpendicular to the principal axis of a converging lens. Converging andre convex lens. Focal length 10 centimeters, object distance 15 centimeters. Find the nature, position and size of the image. Find its magnification. Draw a ray diagram to show the image. Okay, I'll give you guys 2 minutes. You can answer this question. Okay? ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ? IPL ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು?
ಅಣ್ಣ.
ರೆಡಿನಾ ಇವತ್ತು ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಗೆ? ನಾನು ರೆಡಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ. ಬಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಆನ್ಸರು 12th ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್? ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ರೈ.
Size diminished.
Sorry, 5?
Size diminished. Nature
Okay,
real and
diminished.
inverted.
Okay, but tell me what is the this one? Find the nature position.
Image
okay, what is
distance
the
6
magnification?
centimeter.
Tell me. Okay, first tell me what is the image distance. Image distance ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ?
6 centimeter.
6 centimeter round.
minus 30 centimeter.
30 centimeter.
Minus 30 and 30. Okay, ನೋಡೋಣ. So I think it's either minus like it's mostly plus 30. It's mostly plus 30.
Plus
ನೋಡೋಣ.
30.
Okay. ನೋಡೋಣ. Let's see. Let's see. So a 2 centimeter tall object is placed perpendicular to the principal axis. So this is the 12th question. So height of object is going to be plus 2 centimeters. Okay, is placed principally of a converging length of focal length 10 centimeter. So converging length to focal length is 10 centimeters. So that means focal length is going to be plus 10 centimeter. Alva converging length anta kottidare. Okay, then next ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, the distance of the object from the lens is 15 centimeter. So object distance is always going to be negative alva, minus 15 centimeters. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ it is placed, object is always placed on the left side of the lens. Find the nature position of the image. So first ಏನು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋಣ ಹೇಳಿ? We have to use lens formula or mirror formula?
Lens formula.
Lens formula. So lens formula, 1 by f is equal to 1 by v, sorry, minus 1 by u. Alva. So u ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So they have, I mean v, u ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, we have to find v alva. So ಇದು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, 1 by v is equal to 1 by f plus 1 by u. 1 by f, 1 by 10 plus 1 by minus 15. Okay, which is nothing but 1 by 10 minus 1 by 15, which is nothing but 1 by 30. Alva. So 1 by v is equal to 1 by 30. Therefore, v is equal to plus 30 centimeters. Banta ellarigu idu?
Yes.
Okay, so v is equal to plus 30 centimeters. Okay, so now we have to find magnification. Magnification is nothing but height of the image divided by height of object, alva, hi by ho, and this is nothing but v by u in terms of a lens, alva. So what is this equal to? V by u is equal to 30 divided by u ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
Minus
15. Which is equal to 2. So magnification is equal to minus 2. Minus 2. So magnification is nothing but minus 2. Aita? So height of object ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Height of object is equal to minus 2 into hi, which is equal to minus 4 centimeter. So height of object is equal to minus 4 centimeter. Sorry, height of, sorry. ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. height of object ಆಗಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, height of image ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So M is equal to Hi by HO. Hi by HO. Alva. So M is equal to -2 is equal to height of image divided by height of object is already 2 centimeters. So this implies that height of image is equal to -4 centimeters. Okay. So what is the nature of the image that is formed here? It is magnified, it is inverted, and it is real. Artha aita ellargu? So magnified, inverted, real. Okay, so these are the 3 points. Okay, so so ray diagram kedidare. Okay, so repeat from first. Okay, so height of object is 2 centimeters, focal length plus 10, image distance is -15 anta kottidare. Then I used the lens formula and I got the image distance. Aita? So once I got the image distance, then I calculated magnification and I got -2 as the magnification. So magnification bandaga, I also calculated the height of the image. So height of the image is -4 centimeters. I can't get last one writing. Okay. So just see, so magnification is nothing but V by U and magnification is Hi by HO. So I equated the two. Avaga height of image is -4 centimeters anta bantu. So adrinda nam gottayitu -4 andre it is inverted. -4 andre it is magnified. Yakandre magnification is 2 and it is a real image over here. Okay. So what is the ray diagram going to look like? Nan one rough ray diagram draw ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. But I can't draw the proper ray diagram. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಹೆಂಗೋ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. So this is nothing but the U and this is nothing but V. Okay, so remember always in your ray diagram, always draw the arrows in your ray diagram, mark the distances also really well. So neat agirbeku nim ray diagram. Ee tara kanisre you are not going to get any marks. So this is the ray diagram for this image. Okay, moving to the 13th question. 13th question yen kottidare nodana. So state the reason behind the following phenomenon or observation. So it is just going to be a 1 mark question. You don't have to write too much, but just give me the key point over here. We will just discuss the key point for each one of these things. So what is the main phenomenon for the formation of a rainbow? So first one, rainbow formation.
Reflection.
Rainbow, okay. There are two key phenomena. Which one are they? First one I heard yararu total internal reflection. Alva? Total
Dispersion of light.
Correct. Total internal reflection and dispersion of white light. So these are the two key phenomena that cause the formation of a rainbow. We can take LCM of 10 and 15 and then we will get 6, right? One nimsha torstini. Yeah, so LCM togondre I will get 30 as the LCM. So this will be 3 minus 2. So this is going to be 1 by 30. Artha aita? So that is the answer over here. So this is 10. So I'm just going to multiply this by 3 and this by 2. So multiplication by 3 and multiplication by 2. So that's how I'm getting 3 minus 2 over here. Right? Okay, so first one, rainbow is formed due to total internal reflection and due to dispersion of white light. Okay, so then next reason. So reddening of the sun's disk early in the morning and late in the evening. What is the main reason for it? Now last time they discussed Madidini, but what is the main reason for it? Redness of the sun in AM and PM. Like just when the sun is rising and sun is setting. What is the refraction now? Atmospheric refraction is one thing. Atmospheric refraction and scattering of light. scattering of lower wavelength of light ಆಯ್ತಾ. So the lower wavelengths like blue, green, violet get scattered away, and the remaining wavelength is red in color. That is why during the sunrise and sunset, we notice that the sun is going to be reddish in color, because all the other wavelengths are going to get scattered away due to longer distance. Right? So that is due to redness of the sun is due to atmospheric refraction and scattering of lower wavelengths of light. The last one, pathway of light visible in a foggy atmosphere or a dusty room. Correct. The last answer is going to be due to Tyndall effect. Okay. Tyndall effect. So one dark room tagondu one torch haakidre, you will see the dust particles floating around. That is nothing but your Tyndall effect over here. Right? So this is the 13th question. Okay, 14th question tirga inondu numerical. Find the current drawn from the battery of 3 volts by the network of 4 resistors shown in the circuit diagram. Okay, I'll give you 2 more minutes to answer this numerical. What is the answer for this numerical? Find the current anta helidare. So current ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ. Previous slide. Okay.
Questions to
Sorry. Yeah, find the current drawn by the battery of 3 volts. Simple question. Don't get too confused by how the diagram looks. Current ಹೇಗೆ flow ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. We have to find R. Yeah, you have to find R, and then you have to find the current after that. Right? But first step is finding R only. Okay.
Zero 0.3333.
0.3. ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್, ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಸಿ ನಾ, ನೋಡಿ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. 0.3 ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ. 0.3 is the resistance or the current?
Current.
0.3. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್. ನೋಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಈ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ರೀಚ್ ಆದಾಗ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ and it is going to go like this. So it splits over here. So that means when current is splitting, we know there is going to be a parallel circuit over here. Okay, now this current that is going into e branch A ಮತ್ತೆ branch B ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯೋಣ. So ಈ current branch A ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, it is going to go like this. It is going to go through a 10 ohm resistor and tirga ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Then it goes through this 10 ohm resistor, then it goes through this 10 ohm resistor. So can you see that the current going through branch A is going to be the same current. ಈ same current ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. So can you see that these 3 10 ohm resistors are in parallel, but this 10 ohm are in series, but it is parallel to this 10 ohm resistor over here. ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ 2.5 ohm ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ಹೌ ದ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ರೀಡ್ರಾನ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎರಡು ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ, and then it is joining back over here. And join adaga, it is nothing but a key, and then you have your normal circuit after that. So same thing. So current is going like this. It is going into branch A. It is going into branch B. Each one of these are 10 ohm each. So each of these are 10 ohms. And in branch B, you can see there is a 10 ohm resistor. Branch A has 3 10 ohm resistors. And then it is joining back over here and coming back into the circuit. So this is 3 volts over here. Okay. So note, so what is the effective resistance? So ಈ circuit na redraw ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 10 ohm 10 ohm 10 ohm series ಅಲ್ಲಿ, that means it is 30 ohm. So that is nothing but 30 ohm in parallel with 10 ohm. ಆಯ್ತಾ? 30 ohm in parallel with 10 ohm. This is how the circuit is going to look. Okay, so 30 ohm parallel with 10 ohm andre ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ R effective? 30 ohm in parallel with 10 ohm. So effective resistance ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? 30 ohm and 10 ohm parallel resistance is going to be 300 by 40. So which is going to be equal to 7.5 ohms. This is the effective resistance. Vanta yarargo 7.5 ohm. 4 by 30. 30 by 4 barate, 4 by 30. So 1 by R is equal to 4 by 30. So R is equal to 30 by 4. Aita? Artha aita yarargo to calculation madbeka nanu. Okay, so I will just do the calculation also. Calculation martini. So confuse aagta hai adike. So 1 by R is equal to 1 by 10 plus 1 by 30. ಇವಾಗ LCM ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ it is nothing going to be what? 3 plus 1 by 30, which is equal to 4 by 30. So R ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? R is equal to 1 by R is equal to 4 by 30. So R is equal to 30 by 4, which is equal to 7.5 ohm. ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? V is equal to 3 volts ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So I is equal to V by R, which is equal to 3 divided by 7.5. 3 divided by 7.5, we'll take it like as a simpler fraction. We'll take it as 7 by 5 is 15 by 2 as well. So 3 divided by 15 by 2. Which is equal to 6 by 15. Is this the answer you guys got? 6 by 15? 6 by 15 is nothing but 2 by 5. So I is equal to 0.4 amperes anta barutte. Banta yarargo 0.4 ampere?
0.4.
Yeah, so 0.4 ampere is the current over here. So 6 by 15 is nothing but 0.4 ampere. I thought 3 divided by 7.5. So 3 divided by 7.5 na, I took it as 3 divided by 15 by 2. 15 by 2 andre 6 divided by 15. 6 divided by 15 is 2 by 5. 3 2s are 3 5s are. So 2 by 5 is nothing but 0.4 ampere. Okay. So this is the effective resistance. So itara circuit bandaga, don't get too confused. See what is in series, see what is in parallel. Avaga answer barate. Okay. How do I redraw the diagram? I'll explain this. 1 second. So current ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So current is first going like this, then it is seeing this branch over here. ಈ branch ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. So ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 10 ohm resistor ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. But ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ the same current is going to go from this first 10 ohm, second 10 ohm and 10 ohm, third 10 ohm alva. So the current that is going to the second branch, the same current is going to the 10 ohm resistors over here alva. But over here so current ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, then it is getting split at this terminal. ಈ split ಆದಾಗ current A, this is called as branch A, this is called branch B. Branch A ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ more 10 ohm resistor ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. But in branch B it is only one 10 ohm resistor ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಈ junction ಅಲ್ಲಿ this current and this current are joining back each other and going into the circuit like this alva. So this is how I have redrawn this diagram over here. Okay, so moving on to the next question. The strength of a magnetic field around a current carrying conductor is what? ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಇದು? It's not too hard, Adishi. It's just current ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. If it is going through the same resistor, it is going to be in series. If it is going through a different resistor, it is going to be in parallel. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So ಈ branch ಅಲ್ಲಿ same current is flowing through these three resistors alva. So that is why series, it is not flowing through this resistor, so it is going to be in parallel. So next question, strength of a magnetic field around the current carrying conductor, option D anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Directly proportional to current but inversely proportional to square of the distance from the wire. No. So
B.
Huh? B, correct, yeah. Option B is the right answer. Right? So directly proportional to current and inversely proportional to the distance from the wire. Okay. So it's called B. Right? So B is nothing but magnetic. One minute. B is nothing but magnetic field. Directly proportional to current, inversely proportional to the distance between this one, distance between the or distance from the wire. Okay, so magnetic field. So this is option B. Okay, list in a tabular form the major differences between electric motor and electric generator. Again, so this question last time I discussed Madi, but let us answer this question again. So main differences, we'll take 3 or 4 main differences between electric motor and electric generator. Right? So first difference in here.
It converts electric energy into mechanical energy.
One minute. So motor is everything, motor and generator. Okay, so motor is what is motor going to do? Electrical to
electric energy into mechanical energy.
Yeah, and generator is going to convert
mechanical energy to electric energy.
Mechanical energy to electrical energy. Correct. So that is with regards to motor. So then next difference, what is the principle that it is working on motor?
Fleming's left hand rule.
Perfect. Fleming's left hand rule. Okay. Then this one is going to be nothing but Fleming's right hand. Okay, then the last difference, what is the principle on which motor works?
Magnetic effect of electrical.
So what happens over here? Current carrying conductor experiences force, alva. Experiences force in magnetic field. But over here, what is the principle on which the generator works on?
Electromagnetic.
Perfect. Electromagnetic induction. EMI, electromagnetic induction ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So these are the 3 main differences. This works on left hand rule, this works on the right hand rule. And in a motor, the current carrying conductor experiences a force in the magnetic field. So in a magnetic field move adaga, it experiences a certain force due to which it converts the electric energy into mechanical energy. So then in a generator, due to electromagnetic induction, electricity is induced into the circuit. So ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಯಾಕೆ unsubscribe ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ನನ್ನ? Okay. So ನಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಲ್ಲ ಚಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. So we have one last question, I think, or 2 last questions. So what will happen if we kill all organisms in a tropic level? Simple question. This is from our environment. So what happens if you kill all the organisms in a tropic level? ನಾನು ಸಿತಾರಾ ಚಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. Okay. So in a tropic level, what happens if you kill all the organisms? 2 more questions, okay? So we'll finish this and then we can go after. Okay. So in a topic level, say that you have grass, and then you have deer eating this, and then you have lion. Okay, so say that you remove grass, or say that you remove grass or you remove deer. So what happens in this case? In this, it creates an imbalance
In ecosystem.
in the ecosystem. And because of the imbalance in the ecosystem, all further trophic levels will die. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಡಿಯರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಡಿಯರ್ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸತ್ತೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಯನ್ಗೆ ಏನು ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ. ಲಯನ್ ಕೆ ನಾಟ್ ಈಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್, ಲಯನ್ ಕೆ ನಾಟ್ ಈಟ್ ಡಿಯರ್, ಸೊ ಲಯನ್ ಸತ್ತೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಇಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, now if you remove lion only, so lion ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ then deer population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. And deer population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ you will not have enough grass ಅವಾಗ. So because of that, it will cause deforestation, it will cause an imbalance in the ecosystem over there, alva? So this is a very simple question. Artha aita ellarigu? Okay, last question. What are the characteristics of a good fuel?
High calorific value.
Easily accessible, eco-friendly.
One by one. Okay. So I heard two answers. One is calorific value. Okay, so high calorific value.
Easily transportable.
Okay. One nimsha. I heard eco-friendly also. Eco-friendly is also good.
Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly. Then after that, easily transportable. Correct. Easy storage and transport.
Economical.
Okay, then yeah, economical. Any other answers? No? Okay, correct. So these are the four main characteristics of a fuel, of a good fuel. So it has a high calorific value. That means fuel burn adaga ಜಾಸ್ತಿ calories ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. It is eco-friendly. That means if fuel burn adaga, it does not release too much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Then it is easily storable and easily transportable. And then after that, it is good. It is highly economical to us. Like it costs lesser amount of money to burn that particular fuel. It should not release toxins. That is part of eco-friendly only. So we'll know whether a fuel is eco-friendly based on what are the toxins it releases into the atmosphere. So correct agi 345 mugsidivi all the 18 questions of this paper. So this is it for today. So take this paper again. Mate neevgale answer all these questions carefully one by one. So the paper is on the group already, and I want all of you to write these answers and practice. Yakandre write ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you will obviously be able to answer better as well. So thank you all for joining. If you have any doubts on the 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Answers ಜೊತೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ, like answers you only look at your textbook and try to write the answers. ಆದಿಶ್ರೀ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದವ ನಾನು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದನ್ನ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ. If ನೀವೇ ಬರೀತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ and send it to us, we will correct your paper also and we will ensure that you get everything right. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? 3 questions ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ನಂಬರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಚಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, 9741371467. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Please send us a message to this number and ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ we will send it to you. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So that's it for today. So hopefully it's useful ಆಯ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, and all the best for your exams ಮಕ್ಕಳಿ. So like ಈ ಗೊತ್ತು ಮಂಡೇ ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್. So all the best for it, and if you need any help from our end, please let us know. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನಾವ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದೀವಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. And don't feel too stressed out. I know ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ stressful time ಇದೆ, ಬರೀ 2-3 ದಿವಸ ಇದೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But all of you have prepared really well. I know that you guys have the ability to do your exams really well. So be more confident in your own ability, and I'm sure all of you will do well, and we're always here to support you.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. I missed 3 questions.